Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. This is Living to Learn. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day, out of your busy life to listen to what I have to say, to watch my video, to give attention to my content. And before I get started, I want to remind you in the description of the video, you've got my TikTok and Instagram handle at Live to Learn Coaching. Feel free to follow me there for more content. It's also an opportunity for you to reach out to me directly. If you have any questions, if you want to address anything that I have said, if you want to make any suggestions for future videos that you'd like me to cover, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for those of you who have reached out to me, who've been supporting me for a long time now. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Also, in the description of the video, you've got 3 opportunities to give financial support to this channel and what I'm doing here at Living to Learn, at Live to Learn Coaching. Very appreciative. Thank you for those of you who have taken your support to that level. It really means a lot. Shows that you are really invested in what I'm doing here. And that's why I do what I do. I'm doing it for other people. I'm doing it for other people who are watching, who can benefit from the words that I'm saying, the things that I'm sharing on this channel. And so today I want to talk about one of our core principles here, one of the things that matters most to me at Live to Learn Coaching, Living to Learn, my YouTube channel. What do we stand for? What am I about? What is this? What is the purpose, right? And I've talked about it. I know I've discussed it. I know I've sprinkled it throughout other videos. But today I want to talk specifically about one core principle, one core value that I have here. One thing that guides me when it comes to this channel. And that is inclusivity, or being inclusive. Now, why is it important? Why is it one of my core values? What does it mean? To me, when I talk about inclusivity, when I talk about being inclusive, in regards to my channel, in regards to my coaching, what I'm saying is anyone, any person, any individual who finds what I'm sharing to be helpful, they can take ownership of what they're watching, what they're listening to, and they can apply it to their lives because it is for them. It is for you. Now, I mentioned being inclusive specifically because although I am a man, I would identify as a man, a heterosexual male. That's how I identify. I realize that is not the only type of individual that's going to come across my content. And although that's probably where my expertise lies in the most, just because, again, as a man, I can relate to other men more than anyone else, I also would like to make myself available to people who do not fit that identity. To individuals who do not share the same background as myself, individuals who do not share the same lifestyle, the same sexual preferences, the same ethnicity, the same religious practices or beliefs, the same faith. People who perhaps are not as inclusive as I am, or as I would like to be, or as I would hope other people would be. Perhaps you find yourself in a position where, I don't want to accept other people. I don't want to accept individuals based on these things. If you were to ask me my opinion on that, I would say that all of that is based on fear. All of that is rooted in a lack of confidence, a dysfunction, an insecurity. Again, this is my opinion. This is what I think about that. Because there's no reason for me to exclude anyone. Unless, of course, I have a reason. And most of the time, those reasons are things that are made up in my mind, or things that may have been influenced from past experiences or whatever it may be. Again, there's so much that goes into this, but a key principle, a key foundational value of this channel, of Living to Learn, of at Live to Learn Coaching, is being inclusive, is inclusivity. Now, I want to share a story with you. And many of you have, if you've watched my videos before, I've mentioned my upbringing. I've mentioned that I was raised in the Christian faith. Now, I had mostly majority of my experiences growing up in the faith, growing up in church, right? Growing up in direct proximity to pulpit ministry, right? Having pastors in my family, having, speakers in my family, teachers, instructors, seeing this, right? Being a part of this, this is embedded in me. It's it's interwoven into the fabric of my life. It's just always going to be a part of me. And most of it was positive. Most of it was a great experience. I've got wonderful memories. I've got cherished memories that have to do with church, that have to do with the faith, with Christianity. It's tied together. It will always be a part of me. I'm not here to deny that, and I'm not here to say that it wasn't good to me. I know that's not everyone's story, but that's my story. So that's how I was raised. That's how I grew up. However, at its core, there are some exclusives when it comes to Christianity, particularly when it comes to salvation, particularly when it comes to, being a sinner versus not being a sinner and things like that. I'm not here to get into the whole theology of it, the belief system. Maybe one day I'll make a video about it. I'm not really interested in that. But just to give you a background, right? I want to give you some context of what I want to talk about. Well, I worked at the airport years ago. I worked for a rental company, and my job was to take the drivers, right? We had a group of drivers that worked for the rental company. I would take them down to the airport, right? The underground parking lot where all the rental car companies stage their cars. And my job was just to allow these drivers, these people, to pick up the cars that are being returned. Okay? They take the cars back to our, headquarters or whatever, close to the airport. And then the guys there, right, the people there would detail the cars so they could be brought back, dropped off clean, and ready for the next person to rent out. And that was what I did. And there were two teams. I led one, and the other team was led by one of my coworkers. Her name was Amal. And Amal was originally from the country of Somalia. Now, if you have ever watched a movie called Black Hawk Down, you are familiar with Somalia. You are somewhat familiar with what type of environment that country, or at least the capital city, what it is, right? Or at least what they tell us it is. That's another key aspect to this, right? What we're being shown, how are they being portrayed? I mean, to make it simple, I don't think you would consider Somalia to be a friend of our country, and vice versa. But here she was, and she was my coworker, and her name was Amal. Now, I told you I grew up and I was raised in the Christian faith, and she was a Muslim. And Amal was a practicing Muslim, and I say this because she never ate anything. She had this routine. She was funny. Every day we take lunch around the same time. Every single day, she went to this restaurant. If you're not in the SoCal area, I don't know if they're outside of California, but El Pollo Loco is it's a staple around here. If you're from the SoCal area, or probably all of California, and I don't know what other states they're in. El Pollo Loco is you've heard of it. You're familiar with it. It's actually very good. I like the food there, but they specialize in charbroiled chicken. Every single day, Amal would get El Pollo Loco. That's what she ate. To my understanding, again, I don't know a lot about Islam. I don't know a lot about what their practices entail. I have heard that they do not, or are not permitted to eat pork. Chicken is acceptable. And that's just what she had. She ate chicken, and she was very consistent. But I'm not here to talk about her lunch habits. What she did, what working alongside this individual, what she did for me was she challenged my exclusive ideals. The exclusivity that was passed on to me through my Christian upbringing. Again, I'm not here to blame anyone. I was raised in a great family. I am lucky. I'm very fortunate. I was given so much, and I appreciate what I was given. I appreciate what was done for me, even if some of those things were incorrect. I respect the spirit of why they were done to me, of why they were given to me. But working along this individual who was a Muslim, and if you were raised in the faith like I was, you understand that in Christianity, I didn't hate anyone, but it was more of, you felt like a pity, right? You felt like, oh man, they're out there. They don't believe what I believe in, so they're, man, you felt sorry for them. She changed that. Because as I saw this individual, as I got to see her in action, day in and day out, we worked together, we were coworkers. I got to see how she was. I got to see her character. I got to see how she treated people. I got to see her discipline. I got to see her generosity. And so it started to make me think like, man, how I know what I've been taught. And by the way, I've since unlearned so many things. But at that moment, it was like, I know what I've been taught. But how could this individual be wrong? How could this person not be on the right side of things? And from that moment on, the exclusive ideals that I held on to, which I no longer do, were challenged. And that experience working with them all, that experience alone opened my eyes. And so to bring it back full circle to where I'm at today, I am 100%. This channel, my coaching is 100% inclusive of all. Because we're all human beings. We all were raised different. We all grew up differently. We all came up in different cultures, different faiths, different religions, different, ideals, different identities. So I'm standing here as a person. I'm refusing to let any fear, any misunderstanding, any ignorance on my part. I'm working against that. I don't want that to keep me from being able to include people. Now, obviously, if you're an individual that wants to hurt me or wants to attack me or cause harm to me, you're not included. That's not called being exclusive. That's just called being smart. But if you're someone who hears my words, who watches my videos, who listens to my content, who sees where I'm coming from and can relate to it, then this is 100% for you. And that's why inclusivity, being inclusive, is a core value. It's a core principle of what I do here on my channel, of what I do at Live to Learn Coaching, what this represents. So I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.